Am I crazy? My wife of 3.5 years constant criticism hurts me and I don't know if she's right. I read it. I apologize for the length of this throwaway. Obviously. My wife, let's call her Julie, and I are both on our second marriages. I see my 2 teenage boys from my first marriage a couple times a week. I met Julie 7 years ago. We leased a house together a year after that, and got married 2 years after that. Julie is a practicing psychologist that has been all over the world. Let's just say my job is very different and I'm from a small town. We were happy for the first year or so, but then every few months Julie would say that she wasn't getting the quality of connection and depth she wanted out of this relationship. At first, she'd say she was mostly happy and that we worked very well together in these things that were missing were nice to have, but they were very important things to her. She wanted more deep, meaningful conversations where we talked through our personal struggles and things we were wrestling with inside, tossed around ideas and theories we were thinking about, talked about how we wanted to improve, etc. And I've been open to those kinds of conversations, especially being there for her to talk through things. But I'm a pretty simple, genuine guy. Really. While I have depth awareness inside and am very attentive, I'm not one to always be grappling with internal struggles, so I don't start these kinds of conversations naturally. On occasion, shit is going on in my life and I am struggling with something, I naturally get vulnerable and talk about it, but it is usually about something specific and tangible that happened, like with my kids/their mother, or something I'm thinking about at work. What she says about that, though, quite regularly, is that she never sees insight from me about my role in things, or any curiosity about how I can work on myself to shift dynamics or whatever I think. Her future/therapist kicks in and she corrects, reframes, asks questions that feel to me like she's trying to lead me to some realization that I just haven't had yet. And while it remained open to it for a long time, I have come to find it extremely critical, patronizing and condescending. I feel like I can't talk about things in my voice, nor can I react naturally to things. I feel like I have to stop and second-guess everything that comes out of my mouth to evaluate whether I'm going to be criticized yet again for how I phrase something or react to something. I let her know what happens for me, and it frustrates her's double-bound because she can't talk about what she's needing in this relationship without triggering in the old patterns of being criticized. When she says, she's really not criticizing me, so she's stuck. I kind of call bullshit, because unless I am so out of touch with reality, she actually is criticizing me or having judgments of how I did or did not react to something. Anyway. Fast forward, we've been having a really hard time for over a week now, which started after a huge reaction Julia had to a situation with my kids over the holidays. They are young adults and were not respectful of my time or communicating with us about plans, and I'll admit it was quite rude. She was extremely activated and irritated with their self-entitlement, which is real, and highly critical of how they were raised and how I have handled the relationship with them over the years. She was very vocal about how she would have handled things very differently, going years and years back. I handled it by removing the boys from the equation, as per her suggestion, and took them to a restaurant for our holiday dinner. Later on, I found out that this also upset her. We talked through it a bit after the house was quiet, but nothing was really resolved. The same night as the argument about my kids being jackasses, Julie couldn't sleep. She got up and ended up being up all night and, as it turns out, reading a book, a relationship book. I woke up around 2:30 and noticed she was gone, but I was still reeling from the conflict. I did not feel like running after her for more. Now that I was up, I got on Facebook and started exploring the news feed, then clicking on people I know, then looking at friends of friends, and honestly, after a while I was following threads of attractive women for no other reason than the fact that they were attractive. She discovered I'd been doing that and is now extremely upset about what the behavior says about the state of the relationship. To her, it means when we're in conflict, she is up all night reading relationship books, and I'm escaping outside the relationship. Let's put us in a tailspin for over a week now. A few days later, I went out for beer with a friend of mine, Ken, and we ended up talking about all that's been going on in my house. He had a lot of insight, making the connection for the first time for me that my lack of interest in sex lately probably had to do with the antidepressants I was on, suggested I go off them, try couples therapy, take her out on a real date, etc. When I came home to my wife, I sat next to her on the couch and started telling her what he and I had talked about. Within the first 30 seconds, she'd scoffed at how I had told Ken we were going through a rough patch. Within the next 2 minutes, she was snidely commenting about how the way I was phrasing things was very victimy. Within another 2 minutes, she was indignantly saying, "What I'd like to have heard you say was." I stopped and said, "Okay, here's what just went on for me. I came home after a great conversation with Ken that I wanted to share with you, and then here's what I was met with," and told her exactly what I'd just said in the previous paragraph. I had initiated the conversation with the intention of arriving at getting into couples therapy, but instead felt so goddamn criticized that we ended up having an hour-and-a-half long conversation about that, and then about how she's stuck because she can't talk to me about what she needs in this relationship without me feeling criticized. It escalated. There was yelling. I called her out every single time what she said was condescending, patronizing, etc. There was tearing up. I said, "You don't hear me constantly telling you how I need you to grow and be different from me to be happy, and you regularly say that to me and have been for the past 3 years." There was a point where Julie stopped and said, "I think we should get divorced. Which bed do you want to sleep in tonight?" She poured herself a drink and went upstairs. I went downstairs to the guest bedroom. 5 minutes later, she texted me, "Julie, you are correct. I'm unhappy. I thought you'd love me enough to care about that and want to work on things. Instead, you get indignant and want to be accepted unconditionally. When I tell you I struggle with that because I want intimacy, passion, connectedness, and to work on getting that together, you berate me for being judgmental, rejecting, and critical. I am out of options other than to let you go find what you want. I clearly am unable to give it, and you are hurt and angry about that. I'm sorry. I am unable to be the person you need me to be. This relationship is apparently destructive to us both, so the best thing seems to be to get out of it. I have only a critical and hurtful effect on you. I don't want that or intend that, but it is nevertheless the result of our interactions. It needs to end. You need to find someone who can give you what you are looking for, and I do too. I hope you'd be that person, but you have been crystal clear that you don't want to be in Camp B, and I need to finally hear you and accept what you are saying. I always thought if two people loved each other enough, they would grow for each other. You want to be accepted as is, as it hurts me. I wish it didn't. I hoped it would be workable. Clearly it's not. I'm sad about that. But finally hearing you, I get that you want to be loved exactly as you are, with no change, reflection, growth, etc. I want you to go find that. I want a relationship in which we are each pushed to our highest potential and keep growing and working on things. I was wrong to think you one of the same, especially when you even adamant that you want to be accepted as you are. We have totally different paradigms. Mine hurts you, yours leaves me wanting. I see no solution right now. Me. I would like to respond, but I have no words. Sorry to have failed you, hurt you, berated you. Julie, you don't care, and you are happy. I'm done me. That is not true, Julie. It's a relief to you, me. That is not true for me. Julie. You are sick of me, yes, it is. You couldn't be clearer that you have had enough of me. I am sick of being told how I am failing you or not living up to your standards. Julie, you are sick and tired of everything I have to say and have no desire to care about my being lonely and hurt me. That is not true for me. I am sick of anything that has a tone of disapproval of me, my behaviors, my actions, or lack thereof. Julie. Okay, I'm sorry, I feel hurt. I am sorry. I try to talk about it with you. Me. I am sorry. I hurt you over and over and over again. I clearly cannot be who/what you expect of me? Julie. Yes, why is that? Why is it over and over again? I don't understand that at all. Me. In the process of being me, I hurt you over and over and over again, and I am sorry for that, Julie. Anyway, you'd be relieved by a divorce. Me. Not true for me, Julie, you never were in this to begin with. Me. Also not true for me, Julie, I don't believe you. How could you possibly not be relieved by the prospect of being free from a rejecting, critical, dishonest screw me? What seems true about that statement is that I have not been in this in the way you expect, Julie. You can't wait to have your bachelor freedom back. Me. You do realize how many words you're putting in my mouth, right, Julie, and start hitting the bars. There are many unconditionally loving women out there who will expect only physical security from you. These aren't words in your mouth. These are words from my perceptions I own that I'm letting. How know what messages I receive unintentional or inaccurate or not? Go stay at Ken's house. I'm sure you will be much happier there. You hate being here, and you sure as hell don't love me. I'm Julie, exactly me. I love you, Julie. It's just a rough patch. Seriously, is that what you tell yourself? Let's not allow the impact of anything to actually hit us. Let's just keep minimizing and pretending it's not that bad and get angry with Julie for having feelings about it because she gives a shit about relationships and doesn't want to sweep things under rugs. God effing forbid. What does love mean to you anyway? I don't even know what you mean when you say you love me. You don't want sex, you don't desire me antidepressants, Julie. You don't feel accepted by me. You don't like how I talk to you. Me. I am not accepted by you, Julie. You don't like how I word things. You don't like my perceptions, and especially don't like when I try to get clarity by engaging you in conversation about them. You don't like when I see things differently from you. You don't like the feedback I give you about how things impact me. You don't like how I talk to you. You don't like how I pressure you. You don't like how I make you feel. You don't like how I interact with you. You don't want to grow or reflect for me or you. You don't want to examine things and learn, not for me or for you me, and you're critical of that. Julie, what the fuck does I love you even mean to you? You don't even know me. All you see is criticism and rejection. It's not even possible to love that, and it's all you see me. I guess I don't know you, Julie. So if I am so critical and judgmental and rejecting, why the hell are you here? Duty obligation? Go be free me sigh, Julie, go and find someone who loves you in the way you need, with no needs of her own me. I get it, Julie. Just like my ex-husband, you need a good woman who accommodates me. I don't meet your needs. I get it, Julie, and I am as bitchy as your ex-wife me. Nope and nope, Julie, you meet many of my needs and some not. Stop polarizing every effing point me. I'm polarizing, Julie, on that point, yes, on all points. No, you feel contempt and scorn for me. Love no me, not true for me. I feel less than you, unworthy. Unless I speak the way you want me to speak, grow like you want me to grow, stretch like you want me to stretch, deal with the boys the way you want me to deal with my ex-wife, the way you want me to. The contempt and scorn comes at me, not for me. But that's such a victimy thing for me to say, Julie, my way must be god-awful for you to hate it so much. You trolling through Facebook again, planning your backup plans, of course, and yes, when your responses are habitually reactive and don't reflect what is good for you, then yes, I judge that. I judge it because you are self-harming and I care about you. But all you ever see is the judge, never the care. You can't receive the care I send your way, and I can't send it away. You can receive without your help and input, but by the time you are even liking to engage and help her input, it's wounded and ugly and detrimental. I can't give you what you want. I want to, but that would require conversation of equality. I can't activate with you. I simply don't have the skills or insight to figure it out. And you are happy sleeping and going oblivious. You should find someone more like you. How do you damage into service and you clearly have no interest in the work this relationship takes, you actively resent it. I want to work at things, and you hold it against me and use it against me as evidence of how unaccepting I am me. I think what you're really saying is that you want someone more like you. That's fine, you deserve that, Julie. I want someone who cares enough about a relationship with me to work on it instead of hiding behind I'm fine as is. Why can't you accept me? Me? I cannot be that person without a lot of work. In your eyes, Julie, I'm not worth working on things, forgot it? Me? Not what I said, Julie, yes it is. I'm not worth it. I'm too critical and judgmental. You aren't loved unconditionally enough. Got it? You don't love me enough to care about hearing how you sometimes impact me. That's my alone problem, and don't bring it you because that just makes you feel bad, and you don't I want to feel bad ever. Truth is, you hate being with me. You think I am always on your back, always judging you. If I try to reach out and share where I am at, that's interpreted as critical and horrible. There is no way for me to connect with you in a real way unless I am slats happy always. I can't be a whole person. I have to be a only happy person. Otherwise it's an affront to your sense of self. You refuse to just work with me, and I'm lonely and hurt and sad. Me sorry, Julie, you are not perfect and I still love you, but inside of you you can't bridge them. You have to be perfect or unlovable and that is bullshit. But it doesn't matter what I think or feel, because ultimately, for you, unless you are all perfected, must mean I am all rejecting and you can stop lying to yourself and me. You want your freedom back, and you believe there is someone out there who will love you and accept you with minimal conflict, go find them. Since these messages, we have been functioning roommates, some awkward moments, some not. Nothing has been resolved. I'm feeling more distant by the day. I have a therapist appointment on Monday with someone who Julie isn't connect to. Please help Reddit? Am I doomed? What is happening? TLDR? Wife and I've been fighting a lot lately about the types of conversations we have. She thinks we don't spend enough time planning, organizing, and analyzing our life and future as a couple. I feel like her criticism is too strong and it brings me down. Not sure where to go from here? Divorce was mentioned? Am I being unreasonable? Edit? She asked me out of the blue if I wanted to be with her. I hesitated and said I'm not sure how to answer that. She threw all my shit out onto the front lawn wailing. She was screaming that I didn't love her. I had no idea she was this messed up. Wish me luck, read it? Update? Am I crazy? My wife 43F of 3.5 years. Constant criticism hurts me 42M and I don't know if she's right. Thank you to everyone that responded with suggestions, clarifications, opinions, and advice. It's been a bit overwhelming and I can't possibly reply to everyone, but I'm so thankful for each of your comments. The situation has deteriorated, especially after she flipped her lid and tossed all of my clothing into the snow. That night kind of sealed the deal for me. I booked a hotel for 3 nights, which is where I am right now. I've since reached out to a lawyer and I'm looking for apartments. After more drama last night, I wrote her and said I am moving out and think that we should divorce. She's been very Jekyll and Hyde from day to day, But as of right now she wrote and said she's deeply saddened but accepting of it, and seems that she'll be reasonable in dividing everything and getting closure. Time will tell, but I'm feeling more relief than sadness, which I think in itself is a sign that this is very much over for me. Thanks again, and I remain open to more comments/suggestions, whatever, so respond/write freely. All the best. Read it.